Chris Brown? Here. Amy Grantham? Here. Nancy Hopper? Present. Katie Jess? Here. John Crowdy?
Here.
Queenie Smith? Here. Sarah Whitney? Here. Pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have before you the approval of previous minutes. What's the pleasure of the board?
Move to approve.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please. Chris Brown? Aye. Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper? Aye. Katie Jess? Aye. John Crowdy?
Aye.
Queenie Smith? Aye. Sarah Whitney? Aye. Next, you have the agenda changes, approval of agenda. Pleasure of the board. Move to approve. Second. Roll call, please. Chris Brown? Aye. Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper? Aye. Katie Jess? Aye. John Crowdy?
Aye.
Queenie Smith? Aye. Sarah Whitney? Aye. Section 2, we have special presentations, and we have before us this evening the alternative licensure program presentation by Mrs. Paul.
Good evening. It was about a year ago this time that I was in front of the board just giving you guys an update about our newly approved teacher and alt principal licensure programs, and I'm excited to be back in front of you again to give you an update because we have our very first group cohort of completers that will be finishing up in the next few weeks. But before I introduce some of them who were able to make it, I just wanted to share a few numbers with you guys. So again, thank you guys for supporting Mr. Sanders in having this alternative licensure program. Last year, we had 11 people start the program. In the middle of the year, we added 7 more candidates. This fall, we had 25 people start the program, so it's a 2-year program. Mid-year, we had another 4 candidates start. And so the program has been very successful in finding candidates and helping them achieve licensure status. And then we've also had alt principals that we're supporting, and we've had 2 alt principal completers this past year, and then we have 13 alt principals enrolled in our program. So what's nice about this program, it's not limited to people in Fort Morgan. We offer in person for those who are in district or surrounding communities. And then we have several people from other districts as well. So we've got people all the way from Woodrow to Loveland, Fort Morgan, down to Colorado Springs. And I think we've got 5 or 6 other districts that are sending their alt principals to us as well. So just very exciting to see the growth of our program in such a short amount of time. So thank you guys for supporting it. And let me introduce some of our completers who were able to make it tonight. So we've got, as I call your name, I'll have you just stand up. Joed, who's teaching at the high school. Diana, who's one of our kindergarten teachers. Liz, also teaching kindergarten. Claudia, also teaching kindergarten at Sherman. And then Erin Kroll teaching at 5th grade at Columbine. So just wanted to say congratulations and thank you guys. Any questions?
I just want to say thank you. It's really nice to have you here because you're you, but also because you bring the program and support those that are wanting to get into education. And it's really nice because Fort Morgan, as I call it, we're the metropolis on the plains. So for us to be able to do it in-house and support the surrounding area, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm passionate about recruiting teachers and working with teacher retention. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Cindy. And congratulations. Thank you. And to me, we have the wellness presentation by Mrs. Beth Carpenter.
Good evening. This is the first year that we've had a Healthy Schools grant, and it is through CDC, but it came through CDE. So CDE actually wrote the grant for our school district, and we're the priority educational agency in Colorado with this. There are, I believe, 22 states that got this kind of funding this year. So it's a 5-year grant. The first year we're focusing more on the district infrastructure, and then as we move into years 2 through 5, we'll focus more on the school level. So the focus is both on student wellness and student health and employee wellness too. So it encourages a partnership between community stakeholders, schools, and families for the whole child approach. I've been working with RMC Health, which is our consulting firm, which provides the technical assistance. So they've just kind of led me through the whole process of what we needed to have for the infrastructure. I meet with them about twice a month, and they just help me with different things. So the first thing we had to do was come up with the District Health Advisory Council, and we usually have an average attendance of about 15 people that come to those meetings. We meet once a month. The first meeting we had, we brainstormed what that group felt like were the priority areas for our district, and that group is made up of community members, high school students, other educators within the district. And the priority areas that they felt like were important were community sharing, resource sharing, and community engagement, because we were talking about the fact that there are so many different opportunities and nonprofits that are working for the good of our students and our families, but we don't always even know who those are. And so we are using our new district website kind of as the resource sharing gathering point. So if you go to the wellness page, you'll see that there's a family resources. And so that's one way that we're doing our resource sharing. Another thing that we're doing is trying to get the word out to some of the bigger employers so that they can support their employees and their families so their students are more successful in their education. And then we're going to also try other means to get the word out about what's happening in our district so that we can have those partnerships. Another one of the areas that they pinpointed was employee wellness, which we know it's important to keep our good employees and retain them. And then the third was the mentoring program. And the mentoring program was actually the high school students on our committee were really the ones that brought that forward. And it's been really exciting to see because they've just taken it. So our high school students have taken that back and have gotten student senate working on it. When they presented to us last month, they have a whole framework for how they want to do this mentoring program. They felt like the first step should be to mentor middle school. So that's another one of those partnerships that is important, and having that student voice in there and getting their input has been really important. So those 3 areas that we brainstormed in our first committee meeting. Then when we got our Smart Source surveys in the fall, that also pinpointed the same. Our school personnel, those were kind of the same things that they pinpointed were the community engagement, the family, and the employee wellness. So those are our areas for the first year. And so we'll build the district infrastructure there. And then as we move into years 2 through 5, then we'll move into the school level and we'll be developing school wellness teams. And those school wellness teams then will work out with the families, the employees, and the students within each school. So we'll have kind of a 2-pronged approach. So that's the structure of our grant. Some of the things that we've done this year with the grant, we had a fall wellness bingo, which was more mindfulness and some movement. We had a really cool bingo card that RMC did for us for the whole district. And I had no idea what to expect for participation. And so when we got them back, it was about a 2.5-month long challenge. We got them back. I had 52 that came back, and I was happy with that. But then when I sent the survey out, I had about 84 people respond to the survey, and it was great feedback. So I do feel like there's the interest there. It's just a matter of developing some of those things. Another thing that we did was we bought a glass-faced fridge for the high school pantry so that students could actually see what was in there before they opened the door and stood there in the refrigerator with the fridge open. So you can tell Dency has raised kids because it was Dency's idea. She goes, we don't want one they can't see. So in addition, we did, after the first of the year, a district step challenge, and all the different schools did participate, as you'd expect, varying levels of interest from the different schools, but they participated. In the fall, we had chair massages. Shiloh Meagle from MCC kind of coordinated that for all the schools. We've had blood pressure checks. Brittany Weimer went to all of the different schools and offered blood pressure checks for anybody that wanted them, and Salute also partnered with us for that. I do send out wellness emails with different information I try to do that about once a month. Last week I helped support a Baker Wellness event that they developed there, and so we had some more community response. We had the health department and a lot of other different community agencies show up. I'll help with the Sherman Wellness Fair in May. And then counselors are doing a career day, so we'll help support that too. One of the big things that we're working on this year with some of our grant funds is coming up with wellness rooms for the schools, and just strictly kind of a tangible way that our employees can see that we're trying to give them some space for rejuvenation and that kind of thing. And as you can imagine, we don't have extra spaces anywhere, so we're kind of doing it in staff lounges mostly. But each of the buildings get to choose what they want in those rooms. It's not something that I'm choosing for them. To finish up our year, we'll have a 30 days of mental health challenge, which is kind of a gratitude challenge. We'll do that district-wide. And then, like I said, as we move into years 2 through 5, we'll continue the district approach, but then we'll also move to the school wellness teams. So that's what I have to share with you. Any questions?
Well, I will say that having worked with you for a number of years, it's always a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you.
Did you make any movement on the, this is something that Beth and I talked about for many years, is the Google Map pods? I want to
No,
Oh.
we haven't gotten,
Well, that's a wellness room idea.
Yeah.
You know how expensive those are.
But if
Yeah.
you have pod, I'll come over and take
sleep
it.
is a priority. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Beth.
We are now at 3 public comments. So close.
Bob Stock, announcement Thursday, McDonald Toyota.
Yep.
4 to 6, everyone in the public is invited. Come on out.
Perfect.
There you go.
Great public announcement.
Yes,
Okay, moving right along, we have reports. The Fort Morgan High School student representative.
Hi. So I have a little, just because I'll be here in a couple weeks. First being sports. Baseball has a home game tomorrow at 4 versus Skyline. Girls soccer has a home game at 5:30 versus Fort Lupton also tomorrow. And then girls tennis has a match at 4 versus Thompson Valley next Tuesday. This week, the high school is doing digital readiness checks because now the SAT and PSAT will be digital. So this is kind of the week everybody figures it all out and all that. So that should be exciting for 9th through 11th graders. Tomorrow, the drama department will be going to the elementary schools and doing a tour for the musical. And then that's the biggest thing is that this week, the drama department is putting on the musical, the SpongeBob musical. And it will be Thursday and Friday at 7 o'clock or Saturday at 2 and 7. So that'll be really exciting. I know they've worked really, really hard and they have to pay it. It should be really good. FFA has their banquet next Saturday, the 13th. And then just another fun thing, the counseling department has been posting the seniors and what their future plans are, whether it be college or trade school or anything what their future looks like. So that's really fun to look at.
And congratulations. Next, we have the board report. There's a couple different things in here that I wanted to go over. The DU card of effective schools. This is a training that's going to be offered. Sorry, that's upside down. But if you go over, you see that? It's kind of wonky, so that's okay. This is a training that is in conjunction with CASB, but it's on April 23rd from 8 to 1 at the University of Denver. I'm going to be at a CHASA event, so I won't be there, but if anybody would like to go, you can RSVP on that cattywampus thing there and attend. But you're going to be looking with fellow school board directors as experts on high priority topics, which superintendent relationships, shifting enrollment, closure of schools, teacher shortages, recruitment, retention, and training, and youth mental health is one of those. So if anybody's interested, please feel free. The Cook Center, the CASB is working along with the Cook Center. It's no-cost parent resources for families to support mental health, and I was going to hope to share that maybe you can with Beth. But they have a bunch of resources that they're looking at, and I know she may already be familiar with it, but if not, it's another resource that she might be able to check into. Okay. And And the last one, the task force publication that came out, I included for you. It is the Secondary, Post-Secondary Work-Based Learning Integration Act. And so it's a 32-page document. I kind of read through it. But interesting is we're looking, again, in ways to support our students going through our systems. So that's all I have. Is there anyone else on the board that has a report? Okay, seeing none. Rob?
I spent a lot of time talking before the meeting at the work session. I want to thank you all for a productive work session. I think a lot got done there and talked about. But I didn't necessarily have a formal report other than to, I know you guys all kind of congratulated Kenny there, but I wanted to make sure to point out for people out there who may not know it, but we have in our midst a student who has worked very hard, and her hard work has paid off. And she has been the recipient and chosen to be a Vetcher Scholar, which is a very prestigious scholarship in the state of Colorado and the nation. Full ride scholarship anywhere she wants to go in the state of Colorado, correct?
Yeah.
Congratulations
For
to
the most
you.
part, full ride.
Well, it's
Depending on what's going
pretty much.
Still some you gotta come up with,
Yeah.
but,
You might have to pay for gas money to get there.
Yeah, they changed it a couple years ago because they wanted to put more scholars on, the foundation. So now if you go to a private school, like Colorado College, which is the college I'm looking at, you pay room and board, which is like nothing. So compared to the actual price, so
It is fantastic, and congratulations to you.
thank you.
yes, congratulations.
Okay. D, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Assessment, Dr. Prescott.
Well, you heard from Beth already about wellness, but we did actually have a visit from Jacqueline Thompson, is our gal from CDC Healthy Schools. She visited last week, and it was a really nice visit for someone to come to Fort Morgan and just be invested. And we are the only school on this grant right now, and so there's a lot of focus around Fort Morgan and health. In addition to that, this Wednesday, we're having the Colorado Department of Education, Adriana, Shelley, Jaylyn, and I have been participating in a chronic absenteeism cohort. We chose to be involved in it this year. I guess it was maybe a little refreshing that we were pretty low as far as our truant rate compared to the other school districts in this cohort. So we sat in some of the meetings, I'm like, wow, and we just had started the panel and doing some really good work. Anyway, a lot of these things have been virtual. They just chose Fort Morgan as an on-site for this Wednesday. So we're gonna have probably 25 to 30 people, and I've been working with the folks from the cohort who I've been working with a long time, even more than the cohort. And so they are super interested in doing some touring. And so we will be visiting, so the meeting is from 9 to noon here in the boardroom, but then from noon to 1:30, they will be having lunch for anyone who chooses to stay. We're going to be visiting the Salud Student-Based Health Center, because that is unique to our district. There's not a lot of districts who have student-based health centers in Colorado. And then also we're going to be visiting dual immersion at Columbine. And so if you are interested at all, I do want to give you a heads up today on the call with CDE. They have been told by Chalkbeat, Colorado Sun, and Colorado Public Radio that they may be in attendance at the meeting on Wednesday. I think they're trying to highlight, again, I'm hoping it's positive, but just a heads up if there's a news story that comes out in Chalkbeat or any of those things that obviously, if we're visiting dual immersion and there's students with no media release, we'll be paying attention to that. I'm not sure if they want to highlight that or if they're more looking at the chronic absenteeism. So that visit's coming up on Wednesday. I know Tony, I know she's not here tonight, but they have like 50 or 60 people. They weren't even going to be able to fit in this boardroom. They're using the field house for some budget finance stuff from the state for 2 days, I think Thursday and Friday. And then we had applied for the easy money, if you remember, back in December-ish, and we got awarded the money for COMTSS and awarded money for high school and Pioneer, to do diagnostic reviews. So I just want to highlight those monies because we still have not received the grant award letters. I'm never usually nervous about that. CDE is just behind the game on that, but with the COMTSS money, our first step is we actually have been assigned a regional person. Evan Deldegren came out last week from CDE. He's going to be our guy. We were the only school district in the state to apply for this cohort of COMTSS money. And so he will be coming in person to our meetings, which is really awesome. He will walk, it's kind of like a 5-year kind of action step process of making sure that we're launching MTSS correctly, getting it off the ground. So it will be starting with developing a CDIT, a district implementation team, which will be representative of all 8 buildings. We're kind of in the process of working on that now. And myself, Jaylyn, Haley, and Shelly have been kind of engaged with launching Frontline for housing our plans. But with this money for years 2 and 3, this is kind of considered year 1. 2 and 3, we had to actually put in for at least a part-time coordinator. So all of the grant money is actually designated for a district level MTSS coordinator, full-time, focused on MTSS. We will still be absolutely involved from the district, like for Shelly, Jaylyn, Haley, and I, but making sure that someone's totally focused on the building level processes and walking and getting coached kind of by Evan from the state level. And then the diagnostic review process, we are using the same consulting team that we used for Columbine 5-6 years ago. It seems like a long time ago now, but we're using Onward Consulting. That is Cindy Ward and Jackie Webb is on her team. And so Cindy came out to Fort Morgan our last PD day, March 25th, and she worked with Fort Morgan High School staff and Pioneer staff just on an overview of what the diagnostic review process looks like. So basically what it looks like is they meet with you as a staff, kind of explain what it is. Tomorrow and Wednesday, Cindy and her team will be at Pioneer. And at the end of April, they will be at the high school. So the Pioneer site visit is 2 days. The high school visit is 3 days. And during that time, the goal is to be in every classroom at least twice, really looking at classroom environment, those kinds of things, and then developing focus groups. So if you hear out in the community, yes, the goal is to have as many stakeholders on these focus groups as possible. And so the staff, each staff during that time with Cindy last week, they did kind of a gallery walk, and so there's no surprises on what they're actually looking for by domains. It's all kind of around the 4 domains of rapid improvement, like systems, instruction, leadership, all of those things. And so through the focus groups, through the classroom observations, Cindy and her team will then come back to the staff and they'll say, okay, these were the things that we noticed, kind of things that surfaced, surfaced the most. And then give the staff kind of a chance to say, oh, well, we don't, we have a question about this. And so there's a lot of teacher voice and staff voice in the room when you to kind of develop the plan. And then, so the goal with the money really is, so we pay for a diagnostic review, and then like Columbine got early implementation money. So whatever you decide is your major kind of improvement strategies, you can tie monies to some of those things for the next few years. It's been really successful for Columbine, and this team is, we chose them because of the way that she does her diagnostic reviews. And so I'll be in touch, I guess, after the diagnostic reviews are done and see kind of what rises to the top. Questions about either parts of those monies?
No, but where's 504 house?
Special services.
Special services, okay.
And actually, just speaking of 504s, like that was part of the facilitated assessment from CDE, is highlighting special ed just as a whole, but then kind of digging deep in 504s and things. Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like he is the Assistant Superintendent of HR.
Good evening, thanks. I don't have a whole lot on my report tonight. Short personal action report for you guys today. Just 6 people on there, so we're fine. We're moving good in the direction of hiring staff. Right now we are having some good qualified candidates that are falling in our laps, especially at the secondary level, which is really nice to see. And we're able to fill some of those critical positions for us. And hopefully that continues to go in the right direction. We've got 17 certified positions open right now, but we are not seeing the expected ones at this point in time that we would typically see this time of year, which is really nice. So hopefully that will kind of maintain with what we've tried to do as a district the last couple of years. Classified, we just have 8, and those are kind of just a standard rotation there. Other than that, we do have 1 director position open at the facilities department that we have advertised, and we will be posting Ms. Holdsworth's position here shortly. So other than that, we have on the 15th of April the recommendations for advancement for certified staff will go in front of the board and for you guys' approval. And then after that, classified professionals or professional tech will be in May to go in front of the board. Well, the other thing I just want to do is do a shout out to our committee today who sat in on the Green Acres principal interviews. Just a super good group, very collaborative, and willing to share out and be an active participant in that process. So we look forward to seeing that continue to solidify itself. Questions for me?
And F, Chief Financial Officer, is not here. No one has a report. So we'll move on to discussion items. A, we have before you the Board of Education meeting schedule. So everyone can have a look at that and if there's any discussion. Works for me. Yay. And then B, the district accountability staff meeting dates for 2024 as well. Okay, then we'll move on to the consent agenda. Pleasure of the board. Move to approve. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess? Aye. Sean Crowley?
Aye.
Mindy Smith? Aye. Sarah Whitney?
Aye. And then we have newsletters that you have before you. Oh, sorry, I skipped one, didn't I? Kurt, I'm the stuff. Pleasure board. Move to approve. Second. And, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess? Aye. Sean Crowley?
Aye.
Mindy Smith? Aye. Sarah Whitney?
Aye. Okay. Consent agenda as approved, we've already done that. So we'll move on to action item 7, the Board of Education meeting schedule. Action, pleasure board. Second. Roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham? Aye. Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
Sean Crowley?
Aye.
Mindy Smith? Aye. Sarah Whitney?
Aye. And B, District Accountability Committee, DAC meeting dates, pleasure of the board. Move to approve. Second. Okay, roll call, please.
Chris Brown?
Aye.
Amy Grantham?
Aye.
Nancy Hopper?
Aye.
Katie Jess?
Aye.
Sean Crowley?
Aye.
Mindy Smith? Aye. Sarah Whitney?
Aye. And what I really wanted to jump to was the newsletters. We have one from Maker, Columbine, Pioneer, and Green Acres for your information and viewing. The advanced planning, the National School Board Association Conference is April 6th through the 8th. Right now we have Chris going as well as Mindy and Mr. Sanders and myself. So, yay, have fun. Learn lots. And then the next board meeting will be April 15th. If there is no further business to come before the board, we will adjourn at 7:20.